Welcome back, fellow adventurers, to a brand new video to the Frog God Games YouTube channel. And today I am making video 2 of the Tome of Horrors Monster Encounter series. If you did not see video 1, all you have to do is click that little eye called the card up in the top right corner of the video, and you can go back and watch that after you watch today's. In today's video, I want to talk about early adventuring and monsters that you can use to replace common monsters like Kobolds, Goblins, Orcs, and much more. A quick reminder before this video begins, the Tome of Horrors is on sale 20% off. Because of the series, I have summoned the Frog God himself to grace us with bountiful discount codes that you may use on the Tome of Horrors. If you use discount code TOME20, you are going to get 20% off of the Tome of Horrors. You can do this in the Frog God Games website. Links are in the description down below as always. Pick up the book and follow along with this series we're going to be doing because I want to be uploading many of these videos that you can use these monsters in your home game. Like I said, discount code TOME20 for that discount. TOME20. It's right here. Right here. TOME20. TOME20. The amazing part of all Frog God Games products is once you buy the print book, you also get a PDF that you can download. I know a lot of people buy print books for their collection or just to leaf through every once in a while. However, with this, you're going to get a PDF that if you would rather read through that to not mess up your beautiful, pristine copy of the Tome of Horrors, you can just read through the PDF. Discount code TOME20. That'll get you 20% off that purchase. Today, we're talking about the awesome Boarfolk. Now, the origins of Boarfolk are actually pretty cool. A sorceress created them, and her influence rules over them. So, if her influence is to depart at any time, it is possible that these boars are going to split off into warring tribes or, just fight against each other. And then that's when the strongest may lead mentality comes into it. Now, Boarfolk are a monster that I would recommend switching in for low-level monsters. The original Boarfolk comes in at a whopping 1/4 CR. Now, what you can do with that 1/4 CR is you can either throw them in with characters that are level 1 or 2, or you can use the Boarfolk Rager once they are higher level, which is a CR 9. So what you can do with that Boarfolk Rager instead is throw it at characters that are level 8 or 9, and then supplement him with some regular Boarfolk that are the 1/4 CR. But before I get into that, I want to take a step back and talk about the statistics of the 1/4 Boarfolk. The cool thing to note here is that the Boarfolk are very large. They're large monsters. They're generally around like 8 to 10 feet tall, and they can weigh around 700 pounds. So they're super intimidating figures for low-level adventurers who were 15 minutes ago blacksmiths, tailors, soldiers, any of this kind of stuff. They have 16 HP, which is pretty beefy, but their AC is only 10, so they're kind of easy to hit. And with attacks, they can either gore their target or they can use their Great Club. But of course, if you don't want to use Great Clubs, they're obviously interchangeable with any other melee weapon, or if you really even want, you can give some of them ranged weapons. If you're going to use them as ranged weapons, I would recommend using more simple ranged weapons. Perhaps maybe one is using a sling, maybe more an advanced one is using like a short bow. I know a lot of people don't like alignment, but I have to cover it because I do like alignment. I'm going to admit that right now. Boarfolk come in as lawful neutral as written. I think this is very accurate, although they are very aggressive creatures. The lawful comes from the tribal aspect that they are one with their community and they generally are going to follow the laws of the tribe. And the neutral can come in from them just being, roaming nomads and tribal-esque creatures. However, it does say in the Tome of Horrors that they are not friendly at all. So keep that in mind when the NPCs, or rather the PCs, roll up to talk to them. Now, I see the Boarfolk Rager, the higher challenge rating monster, sort of as almost like a godlike figure within these tribes. So since they are very brutish monsters, they're very similar to like frost giants, who are really dependent on their personal strength, and they see strength sort of as a eclipse. So like you are the strongest of these people, so you become their leader. So it stands to reason that the Boarfolk Rager is going to be sort of a leader of this group. However, if you're running the Boarfolk at a low level, I wouldn't really recommend having the Rager in there at all. Instead, I would take the Boarfolk statistics and beef it up, perhaps create a challenge rating 1 or 2 Boarfolk, sort of like a leader. Maybe you can even create a Boarfolk Shaman that has some spellcasting abilities. But like I said, if you're going to run it at a higher level, I would recommend the Rager sort of be the boss of this tribe who's wreaking havoc on a bunch of villages nearby. And then, supplement it in with the regular Boarfolk, maybe throw in a Shaman, a Mage, or just another brutish figure that's kind of like the right-hand Boar to the Boar man. I love this a lot too because in the Tome of Horrors, they included an option to become a playable race. Now this is super cool. I know a lot of people in 5th edition are experimenting with different races to supplement their classes. Boar folk is now an unlockable race which again, Tome of Horrors is discounted because of this video series, 20% off. All you have to do is use code TOME20 at checkout, and then you're gonna get an awesome discount code and pick up Boar folk ready to rock in your home game or with your player characters. So if you are a Boar folk, your strength is gonna increase by 2 and your charisma by 1. Now, I would recommend that, obviously, Boar Folk Paladin. Boar Folk Paladin, let's do it, man. That would be fun. So the cool part about this is you are considered a medium creature. However, for carrying capacity, if you use that, you are considered a large creature, so you can carry more, obviously, because you're enormous. You get keen sense, so you get advantage on wisdom perception checks that use smell. So they could be really good for tracking enemies. I know a lot of my players, have used the keen scent ability from either pets or their characters to track the scent of enemies, which is often forgotten when tracking. Usually just look for any scuffs in the ground or on other environments. Scent can be a good way as well, so experiment with that. And your tusks actually do 1d8 damage. So if you are disarmed for any reason or you're in a situation where you don't have a weapon on you, you can fight using your tusks, which is really cool because I like playable races that you have, weapons built into your body. Now, I think this is my favorite trait about them is because they are a created race, they're going to get advantage on saving throws that are going to alter your form. So if a wizard, sorcerer, warlock, anything like that is casting a spell at you that's going to try to alter your form, maybe it's a polymorph, anything in that range, you're going to get advantage on that saving throw because you were created by magic yourself. So there's some versatility built into the Boar folk as a playable race just innately. I just think this is a fun monster because if you still play lower levels, I know a lot of people just skip to level 3, but if you still play lower levels, using Kobolds, Orcs, Goblins, anything like that can be a little monotonous because you play with it for years, and you can only spin the wheel of the Goblins so many times. Now I know you're asking me, Ben, where am I going to use Boar folk? When are they going to come up? Well, I'm going to tell you. The cool part about this monster is they're very tribal. They're most likely going to be hanging out with other Boar folk as well. Maybe an idea for a low-level adventure is the player characters are stumbling upon a town that is nearby 2 tribes that are sort of feuding with each other. And because of that feuding, the Boar folk are raiding the village for supplies like weapons, food, water, and maybe sometimes even shelter. So what the characters have to do is they have to go investigate these tribes, see what's going on in the surrounding area. This will offer the players not specifically a right-away hack-and-slash campaign, where they're just going to go into the tribes and just fight them right away and get into combats. They're going to have to roleplay with them a little bit as well to figure out why these 2 tribes are feuding with each other. And perhaps you make the feud over land, resources that were found, or a treasure piled that they seemingly happen to stumble upon, ironically, at the same time. So it's going to force the characters to possibly even pick a side, or they're going to have to decide if both of these tribes should be taken out or taken care of in different ways. And that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you do have monsters that you would like me to cover in the Tome of Horror series, please let me know in the comment section down below. And I'm going to remind you again, if you do not have the Tome of Horrors yet, use coupon code TOME20 for 20% off. That way you're going to be able to follow along with this series and all that great stuff. Reminder, every print book that you get with Frog God Games, you're also going to get a PDF, which is really cool because I know a lot of people use PDFs, but like the print books maybe for their collection or just to leaf through every once in a while. Like this video if you enjoyed it at any point. Subscribe for more content because we're right on our way to 1,000 subscribers where that giveaway is going to be happening. And share it with your friends if you thought it insightful in any way. That wraps it up today. Keep those rolls and spirits high, and we will see you next time.